Hello, fellow Vizoop Super Zoopers. This is Kim with Vizoop, and I wanted to take a few minutes today to share with you exactly how to figure out when is the best time for you to be posting onto your Facebook page. It's a question that we get asked all the time, and very often we see with our friends in business and clients and people that we do consulting with that they really don't have a good idea of when the best time is to post. And that question often causes them to even wonder, is there such a thing as the best time to post? So I want to show you how to get started with figuring that out. And there's no real one size fits all answer for everyone. It really depends on you, your page, and your audience. So I want to share with you exactly how to do that. So the first thing that I want to encourage you to do is really just kind of have a common sense approach to it and really think about who your audience is. If you're really looking to reach teachers, for example, well, maybe the middle of the day is not the best time. If you're looking to reach business owners, maybe so. It could be early in the morning when they're getting going. It could be kind of mid morning or even late afternoon. And then if you think about moms, that might be later in the evening after, let's say, they've already done dinner, homework, bath time, and they're actually finding some time for themselves to kind of sit back, relax, and scroll through Facebook. So, with just those three examples, you can see how it may be a completely different time. It just really depends on your audience. So, first, think about who they are and what their habits might be. The next step would be to actually look at your statistics that Facebook has built in for you to take a look at. So here I am on our Vizoop Facebook page, and I'm going to, just above the cover image, you have a kind of a sub menu up here or menu. You can click on the Insights tab, which will bring you to all sorts of statistics. And I want you to click on the sub tab under that called Posts. When you do this, Facebook gives you some really important data. At the very top, you see this first chart, if you will. And what it shows you here is day by day. So it starts with Sunday, Monday, all the way through Saturday. And as you can see, ours is pretty much about the same. However, we have seen where some people's Facebook pages may have a lot more of their followers on Facebook on one particular day as opposed to another. So, for example, if I look here at Wednesday, I have the highest number at 2,102. And if that were much higher, then I might say, oh, I really need to be posting on Wednesday because that's when most of my fans are online. So you want to look at your days of the week and see if any of them are more significant than others. But then also take a look at the times chart below the days of the week. So down here in this section. And here you can first get a glance of your overall week, a weekly glance, if you will. And so if I looked at it this way, I can see that my peak time is sitting right over in this area. If I scroll the mouse over, then you'll see how this is at 8 p.m., 930 people, 929 at 7 p.m., so on and so forth. So I probably want to make sure that I'm really reaching the most of my fans that are online at that time. So if it's right here at 8 o'clock, I want to encourage you to try posting at 7:30. If I get online at 8, then your 7:30 post will be right there in my feed for me to be able to see. And also know that you can even run your mouse, let's say over Thursday, and you can see how that graph changes specifically from day to day. So we'll start over at Sunday, and I see that my peak time is around 6 p.m., whereas on Monday, it looks like it's around 7, and so on and so forth. And you can see how that changes throughout the week and adjust accordingly. Now, I like to compare this chart to the check engine light on a vehicle. If you take your car in, let's say, to AutoZone, and you have them run the codes to see what's wrong with your car, And this is kind of a picky thing for me because we used to own an automotive repair shop, and people would come in with this little printout and say, oh, here's exactly what's wrong with our car. And then they didn't want to pay for a diagnostic fee. But that is just like this chart right here, in that that only gives you a guide and a direction. So the mechanic can take that and it might help them better understand which system of the car to take a look at, but they still have to do a diagnosis. You still have to figure out exactly what it is. And the same thing happens here. This is a good direction to start with. This shows you when most of your followers are on Facebook. That does not necessarily mean that that's your most engaged users. So while this is a good place to start, I want you to start here, but also test some other times. So let's scroll down and look at some more. If I were a new user to Facebook or new to figuring out when to post, this is going to tell me, I'm going to think, all right, I need to schedule some of my posts for later in the evening. If I scroll down, this bottom section gives me a good look at the statistics post by post. And so what I like to do in this situation is actually aggregate this information like I would an Excel spreadsheet. So I can click here and then I can sort it by the engagement based off of post clicks or likes, comments, and shares. So let's say that my goal really is to get more likes, comments, and shares on my posts. So I'm going to click here and let this resort. And in a second, you'll see how it switched there. Okay. And now I can see over on the left which posts got the most engagement based off of time. So for example, this one, which was actually me heading to the women's board in Denver, was at 7:02 a.m. It was just a quick little selfie. I think I was in the car on my way to the airport, but this one was at 7:02 a.m. and it by far got the most engagement. Then I look here at 1:52, continuing down, lunchtime, and then mid-afternoon. I can come back over here and now take a look at it based off of the most clicks. So when I click on that and let that resort, there you go. Now I've got a mid-afternoon, another mid-afternoon, and then that early morning post. The third piece of information that you can look at is actually sorting this by reach. How many people did the post actually reach? And again, we're coming back to that 7 a.m., mid-morning, and then again mid-afternoon. So what this tells me is that even though my guide or my place to start was directing me more towards the evening, my most engaged users were early morning and mid-afternoon. So what I would do is encourage you to post in the evening, early morning, and mid-afternoon and test it. Come back here, take a look at these stats, study them, and see how your posts are performing, which ones are doing better. Keep in mind that there's a lot that goes into the timing of it, but it may also be the type of post. This one here, if I click on it, you'll see it's really just it's one of our what we call conversational type pieces. Whereas if I click on this one, this is more of an informational type of post, giving information, sharing helpful tips, that sort of thing. And then this post was about a blab that we did, and I would kind of plug this one more into the conversational piece because it happened afterwards, and I'm not really trying to drive traffic to it. Otherwise, that would have been a promotional one. But it gives you a good idea that really a variety of posts, the timing, and the strategy behind the words that you're using and what your goal is really is going to make a difference. Now I'm going to head over to VSoop, where I will be able to take a look at my schedule, my calendar, see how all my posts are laid out. So if I click here on scheduled posts, then my calendar will populate and I'll see all of the posts that I have created and scheduled within VSoop. Now that I know, okay, exactly when I want to post, then all I have to do For example, if I head down here, green means obviously they've already posted, that's in the past, but I want to rearrange some of these posts that I have. So I can just click on, let's see, I want to change this one right here, 10 tips for millennials. So if I click on that, then I can click on edit and I can reschedule that post and change the time. It's by just clicking here, adjusting the date and the time, and I can do that. The other way that you can do that is to very simply click and drag it to where you want it to go. Now, if the time is different, you'll want to edit that post and change the time. Now, another option for you, if you really want to kind of get a good idea of when your followers want to hear from you, is to consider sending out a survey. If you're doing email marketing, you can go into your email marketing account. We like Constant Contact, and you can create a survey, post that on your social media page, and get find out what would work for them. Simply ask the question: would you rather see us posting in the morning, mid-afternoon, lunchtime, or evening, and find out what your followers are interested in? The other thing that I want to make sure that you know is that you can actually go into a past post that's already been out, and by very simply just clicking on your post in ViZoop, it will show you 3 people clicked on this particular link. Okay, so sometimes in Facebook, you see a post that has 2 people that liked it, nobody commented, nobody shared it, and you think this is really not a good post. But if you come into ViZoop and actually click on the actual post, then you can see the details for how many people actually clicked on that link or opened up that post. So I hope that these tips help you really get going with scheduling your posts, with picking the right time, and then studying your stats so that you know what's working and you know what's not working. I'd love to hear from you. Feel free to send us a private message through our ViZoop Facebook page. Let us know if you have any questions, comments, or anything that we might be able to help you with. Thanks so much. Have a great day.